Have you seen the new executive report being put out by Dataiku? If you work in data science or AI, you should be familiar with it. In this video, I'm going to walk you through some of the highlights that I found in that report. Now first, let me set up the report for you in the context that we're going to be talking about. Kudos to Dataiku for continually putting out some very strong research. You may remember that last spring I also interviewed their CEO based upon that research, because they find some very interesting numbers in the work that they do along with the Harris poll. So I'm going to have my notes here. I'm going to walk you through this report of 600 CIOs, and I think you're going to find some interesting results here. Now, I want to also set it up for you by telling you that I am looking at the global results that are presented in the report. If you are interested in more of a regional breakdown on your particular geography, that's also in the report, and I encourage you to get the full report from the Dataiku website. Now, I really like the way that Dataiku built up this report. Remember, it's 600 CIOs from all over the world, so they generally have the same concerns. And the general pattern that they're putting out there that I really enjoyed was that in 2024 was the year you built with AI. In 2025 was the year that you proved that you could deploy AI and deploy it at scale. 2026 now is going to be the year where you can prove that you can govern, defend, and measure AI at an enterprise level. So that's really where you're going to find that some of the results are rooted based on these responses from CIOs. So here's the first thing that we can focus on. CIOs and other AI executives are under pressure. These executives can continually find themselves joined at the hip with AI. 90% of the polled executives believe that their career trajectory is directly tied to the success or failure of AI in their organization. 74% believe that their company success over the next 2 years is also tied directly to AI. So those are two very big numbers where these executives are feeling that their professional name and reputation is really tied to whether these AI projects succeed or not. In addition to that, they're feeling a little bit of an outside pressure. 46% of them find themselves reporting to their boards on a monthly basis. 95% are doing it on a quarterly basis. Now, if you're not familiar with being in a position that reports to a board, those are very frequent numbers. In most other tech projects prior to AI, you would report maybe quarterly, but more likely semi-annually or even annually. So to be reporting so broadly on a quarterly basis, and nearly half of them are reporting on a monthly basis, that means that the people at the very highest levels of every organization out there are keeping a very close eye on the results that AI is generating, or in some cases not generating. So if you're a CIO or if you're an AI executive, what is it that you're doing about this pressure to perform, this board oversight, this feeling that your reputation is tied to AI projects? Well, they're doing a couple of things. First, they're focusing on explainability. Now, here's a really astonishing number from the report. Nearly 30% of the polled CIOs said that in the last 12 months, they had a scenario of an AI result that they couldn't explain. So in other words, almost 30% of them had a scenario where explainability was a problem. Now think about that. Think about that when I just said that some of these folks are reporting on a monthly basis or on a quarterly basis. That's frightening. That's frightening to have a scenario that you can't explain and then you have to report to your board that frequently. That's a very high pressure scenario. These same CEOs, from the same CEOs, 85% of them have had a project stopped or delayed due to explainability concerns. 85%. That is a massive number. So if you're a vendor out there or developing some sort of AI project, that is what these CIOs are looking for. the explainability is becoming a key factor in their decision to deploy or not deploy. And again, in some cases, it may not be their decision. They're being watched very closely by their boards, by their fellow executives. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean when a project can't be deployed? When maybe your departments, your other people in your organization are counting on an AI project deployment that gets stopped. Well, what that's leading to is that's leading to shadow AI, or what's known as shadow AI, where people within the organization are choosing to develop their own solutions. 54% of the polled CIOs have said that they have found shadow AI within their organizations. That's more than half. So you're having this scenario where the executives are being watched closely. 85% have to stop a project due to a lack of explainability. And then the lack of those projects, the lack of those deployments, then leads to shadow AI by people within the organization that may have good intentions because they need a particular tool, but are ultimately creating these projects that probably shouldn't be out there. So here's the second thing that executives are also doing. They're holding vendors much more accountable. 74% of the polled executives say they regret at least one major vendor decision from the last 18 months. That's a huge number. 74% say that they would have made a different decision for a vendor in the last 18 months. 62% say that their vendor selection has been challenged by their CEOs in the last 12 months. So in addition to the board oversight, the CEO and COO, other executives at their level or above, are also saying, hey, are we sure about that vendor? Because I think executives at all levels are realizing that vendor selection is very important. They're tying their success, their reputation to that vendor. So those are some really high numbers that I think indicate that CIOs are going to be pushing for a little further back against their vendors. Speaking of which, 81% of CIOs polled predict that they will have to use multiple LLM vendors in the future. 93% fully recognize that some LLMs are better suited for some tasks than others. So you might have an LLM preference for your coding tasks, and then you have another preference for your writing tasks, and then another preference for another task. So that is something that seems to be much more popular or recognized as a need at the enterprise level. Again, 81% of CIOs out there do think that they're going to fall into that pattern of having to use multiple LLMs. 55% of the polled CIOs also say that they have already switched vendors in the past to address costs. So not only are CIOs aware of the success of the project, but they also sensitive to the cost of the project. 55% have already made an active move from a more expensive LLM vendor to a more affordable one. And that's probably going to keep on happening as more competitors enter the marketplace. Most of the new competitors will choose to compete on price, and that will hold some attraction to the CIOs. Speaking of costs, here's a really, you could probably call this an alarming number. 71% of their CIOs say that it's likely their AI budget will be reduced if they can't show something meaningful with AI by the end of Q2 in 2026. So that would be the end of June 2026. If they don't show meaningful progress, 71% think that their budget will be cut. Now, we're already a couple of months into 2026. So the end of Q2 is really just a few months away. So that's a number that I'll be tracking closely to see if that actually comes true. Because cutting budgets at this point does seem a little bit premature, because AI really has only been around for a couple of years, at least in wide release. But the fact that they're willing to already start cutting budgets, I think, is an interesting sign. I usually don't poll my audience at the end of these videos, but I genuinely want to know how you feel about these numbers. Some of these numbers are so big that they must have resonated with you in some way. So let me know in the comments below if any of these numbers catch your attention, because they're really such big numbers, such impactful numbers, that I have a feeling that they probably affect your organization.